What's poppin', everybody? It's a Sabro94. I just got news of this as I was on the PlayStation, actually, on Master Duel, and the notification popped up. New ban list is gonna come out very, very soon. 31st of August. That's super soon. And there's a few cards, well, one specific card that I'm not pleased at all to see. But let's go to this with order. So banned cards is going to be True King of all calamities first. Okay, card, yeah, it needs to get out of here as soon as possible. Just decks get it out. Virtual World can get it out for free. It's supposed to be a rank 9. It's supposed to be a difficult monster to get out, but it's not difficult to get out at all. You bring this out, and if you don't have like Raigeki or something next turn, you can't get rid of it. If they protect it, you can't get rid of it. And the card's effect is basically you can't do anything. You can't even attack. So, like if you could summon a vanilla monster somehow to run it over, you couldn't even do that. So yeah, good riddance. Imperial Order. I was gonna make a completely specific video on Imperial Order, why it's more broken now than how it was when it had the original effect. I mean, technically the original effect is stronger, but in the you have to look at this contextually. In this format right now, how it is, how decks are being constructed, and how we play the game basically, having a card like this that is an auto spell lock is worse than back in the day where things were slower, where things were. I don't really know how to explain it. Like maybe I'll have to write a script. But yeah, Imperial Order, good riddance as well. It just goes to show you they don't know what they're doing when they errated this card and it's still needed to get banned. So Imperial Order, of course, happy to see this go. Vanity's Emptiness. Why the hell was this card unlimited, basically, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel? I'm pretty sure it was unlimited. I didn't run into it too many times, but it's one of those auto-win cards, once again. In my opinion, I've always held this opinion. Vanity's Emptiness potentially is much worse. I would say it's more broken than Royal Oppression. It's just another one of these cards where they summon all of their monsters, then they flip this, and then you can't do anything. So, bullshit. And next, Destiny Hero Celestial. This is the card that really pisses me off to see this get banned and be touched at all. So, the reason why they banned this card, if you read like the message on Master Duel, they say that they're using like a system to calculate all of the cards that basically win games, sort of thing. So this is supposed to be like an objective list, technically, but it's nonsense for me. So they calculated that Destiny Hero Celestial should get banned. Now, the card obviously is used almost always in every deck that's going to use Fusion Destiny and Verde to get out Destiny Hero Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, which is broken, very generic, can be used in any deck. And since Fusion Destiny is such an easy card to use, you just use this and fuse from the deck basically. People slap a Destiny Hero Dasher, Destiny Hero Celestial, and then they can utilize this guy. And then with Verde is even easier. Now, Celestial, of course, the great thing about it is that you can remove it from the graveyard with another Destiny Hero and draw 2 cards, so it's a pot of greed. Now, because of Fusion Destiny, because of Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, getting this effect in basically every deck is broken, yeah. But the reality is, this card is not at fault. It's the whole freaking design of Destroy Phoenix Enforcer and even Fusion Destiny, and then this card is paying the price. And it pisses me off because Destiny Heroes, like as an archetype, they don't have too many great cards. They don't have too many great floater cards, I should say. Okay? And this is one of the few cards they have that can float. It's basically this, Denier, and Decider. And Decider and Denier is a once per game thing, basically. They don't have a billions of cards that float. So if I'm going to try and fuse, if I'm going to try and do plays, I'm going to go minus using different cards. With Celestial, at least, you can get a little bit of plus eventually. It's not even guaranteed. You might lose before you can even resolve this card. But they try to make it as balanced as they could. I mean, you can't gain the effect the same turn it went into the graveyard. You have to banish another Destiny Hero with this card, of course. So 2 cards. And you have to be handless to even be able to draw cards. So there's a lot of checks and balances so that this isn't a completely free pot of greed, basically. And it is an invaluable effect in Destiny Hero decks, like the types of D Hero, the pure D Hero decks that I use. You know, with Dreadmaster, Call of the Hornet, trying to get out dominance. Those types of decks, in any basically D Hero-esque deck. Like even in my sort of Teledat D Hero deck that I was going to show you guys, Celestial is in there because once you go handless, it's one of the only ways you can generate a few new cards to keep up with your opponent. So it pisses me the fuck off because there's so many other more broken cards in all of these archetypes. Virtual World, Adamancipator, what else? Like Burning Abyss, Phantom Knights. What else do we got now? Tri Brigade, just you name it. Just all of these archetypes. Flower and Dries. My god, I hate those cards. Just so many cards, so many archetypes that are more broken, that are basically they're in a free roam, you could say, with all of their cards, full power. They don't care. And trying to use like a D hero deck now, it's much harder. You know, this card going away too. Lose another great Destiny hero card. I mean, Malicious is semi-limited too, so it pisses me off because this card is paying the price because of the poor design of Fusion Destiny and Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, which I'm going to get pretty soon when we get to Fusion Destiny. Next up is number 75, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. I don't remember this card, to be quite honest. I don't have the cards in front of me, so I don't know what this does, but whatever. It must be something that's bullshit for it to get banned. Anyway, next we move into, number Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. I think it might be the card that lets you put all the materials on the hero dude, that lets your opponent not summon, not do anything. I think I might be wrong, but it might be that XYZ, like the shadow dude that gives the other XYZ all of the materials. But anyway, limited cards, cross out Designator. It's whatever. Do people like run that many in their decks anyway? It is a broken card. It's too damn free, to be honest. It can stop too many things. It can stop things like Harpy's Feather Duster. It doesn't just stop things like Ash Blossom. So it is, once again, big bullshit. It's like a free negate, basically. So, okay, limited to one. Pot of Prosperity. It's fine, I guess. I mean, I don't think this card is particularly that much more great than Pot of Extravagance and Pot of Desires. It's not a card that I use. I guess other decks like Flower and Dries, yeah, it's broken in those decks. But once again, it's more complicated than that. So limited to one, that's fine. Prank Kids, Mew Mew Mew. This is the cat that gives them basically a free effect. You banish this and you don't have to tribute the big dude to pop all the cards. It does shit like that. Whatever. I think it's limited or banned in the TCG. I'm not too sure. But fine, whatever. And then Fusion Destiny. Fusion Destiny is limited to one as well. In the TCG, this is at 2. So I guess in Master Duel, they're not messing around with this card. So here's what the thing is with this card. This card, Fusion Destiny, whether it's at 3, whether it's at 2, whether it's at 1, whether it's banned, it's wrong. It wouldn't be right. And that's because of the poor card design. You know? What they should have made this card so that if you're gonna use this, you can't summon non-D hero or hero monsters. That's how they should have designed the effect. Not you can summon all of the other extra deck monsters, and then towards the end, Fusion Destiny to get Destroy Phoenix for free as well. It was a poor design in that regard. Writing the effect that way. So, this is why Celestial had to pay the price, because now this card becomes generic. People could run it in their decks, run the 2D heroes, run Verde, and they can just get that Destroy Phoenix for free on top of the other extra deck monsters they bring out. That is the issue. If they designed the card that it was specifically, for D hero deck where it's intended to be used, it would have been fine. But now, once again, D hero decks like the ones that I use pay the price because it's the only really good card we have. Like, I'm running triple D draw, triple allure because you're trying to see this card to start making plays. If you can't get a free D-Hero Fusion guy, it's just much harder to do shit with Dreadmaster. It's much harder, like even if you use polymerization to get your dudes out. I mean, Dominance needs 3 materials from the hand if you're not going to use Fusion Destiny. It's way too difficult, okay? You need Fusion Destiny for you to use pure D heroes and for the deck to be at least a tier 2, at least solid. So this being limited to 1, objectively, you know, it's fair because it is a broken ass card. It's a fusion card from the deck, like Shaddoll Fusion, like those other cards, but it's just generic too because of the way they worded it. It's fucking generic, which ruins the card basically. Because all the other random ass decks like Adamancipator and Virtual World and all the other bullshit can run this basically. So it's sad because it just, these hits, Celestial and Fusion Destiny, just kill my D hero deck. And it's unfair because a pure Destiny hero deck, like with Dominance, Call of the Hornets, Dreadmaster, that sort of thing, by no means is the most broken deck that's around. Okay? But this just ruins the deck. So it's very unfortunate just because once again they don't use their head when they design these cards. Like they could just hire me on my own and I'll be able to design cards better, more fair. But then they wouldn't like this because cards would be weaker. They want to make money at the end of the day. Okay, so that's Fusion Destiny. And then we got semi-limited cards, Altergeist, Multi-Faker. I'm not too familiar with these cards, but I think this dude, I mean, all of the Altergeist deck are Searcher cards, basically. So this must be one of the Searcher dudes, I think. Summoner dudes, I have no idea. Salamangreat Gazelle. I have not run into too many Salamangreat decks, to be honest. I've heard about this deck a lot, even when I wasn't playing Yu-Gi-Oh before I got back into before I got into Yu-Gi-Oh again through Master Duel. You know, I heard about this deck, like it's tier 0, it has everything sort of thing, but I have not really run into it. I guess this is a card in the archetype, this semi-limiting, okay. Skill Drain, going to 2. Skill Drain should have always been at 1. It should not be a card that's at 2. I think 1 is the correct number for a card like this. It's not. It has a few checks and balances that it doesn't have to be banned. It can be at 1, but at 2, just so many different decks can exploit this card. Like the damn Eldritch decks, other strategies can exploit this card. I mean, cards that shut down whole mechanics. It should be at 1, at the very least. Okay, and then Fire Formation Tenki going to 2. Search a card. This is a Fire Fist card, which they need. I mean, I've used Fire Fist too, like in the no extra deck format. I've got matches to show you guys with that deck, and I was planning to make a Fire Fist deck for the actual, you know, ranked ladder. But this going to 2 is obviously going to hurt them real bad, but it's just very unfortunate because there's all the other super unfair Tri-Brigade, other Beast Warrior bullshit decks. And instead of hitting the broken cards in those archetypes, they decide to hit this card that's going to hurt other weaker ass decks too. I mean, I understand it's a generic searcher. Rhoda is at 1, this is at 2. It's understandable, but I just do not believe it's fair. I mean, in the first place, this should have only been able to be used with Fire Fist cards, like level 4 or lower Fire Fist monster, not any Beast Warrior. Because now, I mean, Fire Fists, get fucked. It's the only good searcher they got. Everything else that searches in that deck is a pain in the ass. It's funny and sad at the same time. You've got other decks that have 50 different searchers in their archetype, like the whole deck is searchers. Look at the Dragon Maids, you look at so many different examples. Flower and Dries, fuck that deck. And then Fire Fist, they've got only this card, a spell card searcher, and they have to suffer as well, like I explained, because of other decks. And then the last card, going into the unlimited, just Knight Assailant, getting completely unlimited. I don't think I need to say anything about that card. I believe for the longest time it was limited because of certain loops you can make with what's it called? Wall of Revealing Light and some other combos, but we're way past shit like that, I think. So I mean, it's a decent card. Technically, it's a great floater too. You can grab a flip effect monster, but yeah, it's whatever. We don't care about this card. It's everything else that matters. So this is the ban list. It's gonna take place super quick. It's a bit annoying for me because obviously I'm showing matches with decks and stuff, and I'm always sort of behind with the stuff I want to show. It pisses me off because this is technically the second Forbidden Limited list. They insta hit the right of Aramasir, the cards where they first hit the Master Duel game, and it didn't make any difference anyway. They're still broken bullshit. But this is technically the second ban list, even though other cards got affected. And they've have some hits that make sense that should have been implemented from the beginning of the game, like the King of all Calamities, Imperial Order, Vanity's Emptiness, cards like these. It makes sense. But then they do shit like hit Destiny Hero Celestial. Dude, people are just gonna run, for the Fusion Destiny shit because they did not. Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is still around, and it pisses me off because I know what they're doing. They're trying to hit the low rarity cards. Fusion Destiny is like a rare card. Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is the ultra rare. So they're trying to not really hit the big cards if they can. Like with stuff like the King of all Calamities, they've got no choice, and Imperial Order. These broken as cards that are ultras. But if they've got the choice between Fusion Destiny and things like Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, they're touching the common and rare cards. Celestial is also a rare. So they touch that, dude. People are just gonna put like excuse me. People are just gonna put a Denier or Malice in the deck, and it's gonna open up the door for other bullshit combos rather than just drawing two cards. It's very unfortunate. Pisses me the fuck off. But anyways, these are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the ban list. I've said many times, Yugioh is a clusterfuck. There is no easy way or any way to really fix it at this point. They would have to just make some serious hardcore cuts and then never print broken cards again if they want to see some balance. But they're not going to do that. They're going to keep printing more broken cards to replace the older broken cards so they can make money and people have to buy them. That's the whole idea. So they're just going to be making broken cards only to ban them and then bringing them back again when they have even more broken cards that outclass them. And that's going to be the story of Yu-Gi-Oh! So not the greatest list, but I guess it's going to fix some things and hurt my deck mainly. So unfortunate. But tell me what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What a